All right. All right, we're all good?
Yep.
Okay, cool, thanks. All right, welcome everybody. We're glad that you are taking the time to listen to this presentation. Basically, we're going to provide an overview of our summer program to give you more information about what to expect. So our agenda for this presentation is an overview of our summer program schedule, giving you more information about our summer program staff, giving a little more detail about what to expect in getting ready for the academic component, along with our residential component, and then we're going to go over some safety protocols.
So taking a look at the summer program schedule, the first week, July 3rd to July 9th, is going to be local trips, day trips, and college tours. So Tuesday, July 5th, we're going to take everybody to Cole Park to everybody can get to know each other. Wednesday, July 6th, we're going to do a Syracuse University College visit, and we'll head to the Destiny USA Mall. Friday, July 8th, we're going to do a Binghamton University tour, and we're going to have a motivational speaker here. For weeks 2 through 5, July 10th through August 5th is going to be the residential summer program component. For those 4 weeks, students will be dropped off at campus here on Sunday evenings between 6 and 6:30, and everyone will be picked up Friday afternoons at 1 p.m. So students will be home on the weekends. Students will live on campus, take classes, and we'll have lots of clubs and activities for everyone to choose from on a daily basis. And then week 6 is going to be August 7th through August 13th. It's the end of summer program celebration and trip. From August 7th through 9th, we're going to be going to Washington, D.C. For some college tours and other activities. So Sunday at 8 a.m., we'll be leaving for D.C. and we will return Tuesday, August 9th at 8:30. And while we're on the DC trip, we're going to see George Mason University and Johns Hopkins. We have a dinner cruise and a ghost tour planned. We're going to be doing some tours of museums like the Museum of the American Indian, the International Spy Museum, and the Baltimore Aquarium. And then August 11th is going to be paintball, and August 12th is the end of summer banquet here at the university.
So when looking at our summer program staff, we will have our Upward Bound professional staff will all be there over the summer. So for those of you who are more familiar with your academic counselor at your school, our summer program is a really good opportunity to get to know other academic counselors that work with different schools, and to get to know myself as a director and other professionals that are primarily located on the Binghamton University campus. Then we have our instructors who will be providing classes for our students. I'll say most of them are teachers from the local high schools here or the college. So they're real great support with our academic component. We do have a summer program logistics coordinator, and basically in that role, they'll help with all of our logistics for the summer. We also have our residential and activities coordinator, and that individual is going to be our direct supervisor for our residential counselors. They're really going to take the lead in a lot of the residential activity planning. Then our residential counselors are really going to be our mentors and our guides this summer. So these are undergraduate students who are currently in college, and they can really offer a lot of insight based on their experiences. So it's really exciting for our students to get to connect with our residential counselors. And then lastly, we have our night counselor who they help support with overnight supervision and safety. They really work very closely with our residential and activities coordinator to mediate any issues or any overnight emergencies. So if we're looking at summer class placement, we really work with our students to look at their high school class performance, right? Are there certain classes that they didn't do so well in the previous school year that they'd like to take over the summer to get credit for them? Are there classes this upcoming school year that they're potentially nervous about taking and would really benefit from getting that exposure earlier over the summer? Or are they looking to gain any college credits over this summer? So we take into account all those factors. And also just general interest of our students when we are placing students in classes. We also work with guidance counselors and hearing their recommendations, just because their insight is important. And like I said, when looking at electives, we really take into account not just their interests, but their career interests, to help them get that early exploration while they're in high school. And this is our academic calendar and grading schedule, just to give you an idea of when the first day of classes are, when our midterm exams are, our end of 2-week marking period. Those progress reports do get sent out to our families, just so we have an idea of how we're doing 2 weeks in, so we can really take a proactive approach if we see that there are any problem areas or certain classes for our students. We also have our final grades that are distributed. So just kind of take a look at this schedule to get a better idea of when you'll be getting grades and feedback from us regarding the academic side of what we do. And if your child does need accessibility accommodations, all of our teachers are provided a list of scholars that do require accommodations as they're outlined in their most recent IEP or 504, so that we can really try our best to provide the most appropriate accommodations possible this summer. So if you have any questions about that, or you just want to make sure that we have this information on file, definitely reach out. Regarding attendance and lateness, especially with our academic classes, right? We really just want to instill that independence and accountability regarding being on time and being present in class is really, really important, right? So as all of you know, our main goals as a program are to really get students into good academic habits to help really prepare them for college and just general academic success when they're in high school. So focusing on attendance and lateness is something that's important. It's something that we strongly enforce during the summer program. Um, so that students will already really be acclimated to the rigid rules of attendance that are expected in college. So we really just ask that you kind of support us in instilling, the importance of being on time, the importance of being in class, right? We know that if students aren't in class, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to complete assignments, for them to be aware of what's going on in the class. And we do see those parallels in student success and attendance. So with our program, there are no unexcused absences or unexcused lateness. So, we definitely take into account doctor's appointments, things like that. But for the most part, this is something that we expect our students to be at class and to be there on time. In terms of just general classroom decorum, right, we do expect our students to be alert and respectful of their teachers and peers. Um, no sleeping or any disruptive behavior or disruptive language in our classrooms. And if a student does demonstrate any unacceptable behavior, we do complete an incident report. And that is to just kind of continue to see, are there different problem behaviors that we see a pattern with? And then if that is the case, it's a great opportunity for us to kind of speak with the student about how they can improve those behaviors going forward. We do have mandatory study hours along with our academic classes. So these are Monday through Thursday from 4:30 to 6 p.m. They're a great opportunity for our students to complete the assignments that they're being assigned throughout the summer. This is a space where students, just like their classes, right, should be actively engaged in scholarly or academic activities. There really shouldn't be students who are, browsing the internet or playing games during this time, right? The whole time is to really be focused on our academic assignments, to really avoid multitasking, and also knowing that our resident counselors are available for tutoring and academic support during this time. So if a student is struggling in a subject, it's a great time to connect with, a current college student to help them get that extra support.
And now we're just going to shift gears to talk a little bit more in depth about the residential component overview. So for the 4 weeks that students are staying on campus with us, scholars are going to arrive to campus on Sunday evenings between 6 and 6:30 p.m. and go home Friday afternoons after our classes. For safety reasons, the residential hall is closed to non-upward bound participants and staff during the stay. Except for our move-in day when our scholars will be moving in that first weekend. No outside visitors are allowed in our residential halls. As I just said, so there is also, if a parent or guardian requests to see your child, we just ask that you please let us know and talk with the Upward Bound office so we can make that accommodation for you. And in regards to medications, our scholars are not allowed to keep any medications in their rooms except for those emergency asthma inhalers or sprays and bee stings and pens. So all resident counselors will be equipped with first aid kits, and all of our prescription medications and over-the-counter medications will be managed and distributed by our Upward Bound nurse. And if you have any other questions about medications and requirements, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask us so we can get set with any accommodations your students may need.
So regarding behavior, we just want to really emphasize, right, that we're all guests at the Binghamton University campus, and we really need to behave in a manner that prioritizes our student safety and the general ability for us to continue to return each summer. So keep that in mind, right? Be respectful, not only in the classroom, but throughout the entire summer program. We really want to avoid swearing, name calling, any roughhousing or breaking or damaging any property. These are things that just won't be tolerated and can cause you to be dismissed from the summer program.
Our meals here on campus for the students are funded in part by the Summer Food Service Program through the USDA. Our students are going to have a variety of options in the dining halls, and all meals are going to be provided at no cost to the student. We will have student staff checking plates at every meal to make sure that everyone has the meal components that are required by the Summer Food Service Program and that we're following nutritional requirements. And there will be other programs using the same dining hall space. So we just want to remind scholars to be respectful, clean up after themselves, and just pay close attention to any announcements because there will be a lot going on.
So regarding dress code, this has been adapted from all of the schools that we work with. So this might be already familiar to a lot of you. But basically, right, no clothing, jewelry, or symbols that may be offensive to others. This is a space where we have a lot of students from a lot of different local schools, right? We bring a lot of diversity, and we just want to make sure we're avoiding any messages that are racist, sexist, homophobic, or discriminatory in any way. No clothing or jewelry or symbols that condone the use of illegal activities such as drugs or alcohol. No clothing or jewelry or symbols related to gangs or anything like that. No displaying of undergarments, for example, pants, must be pulled up throughout the entire summer program. No belly shirts or shirts that have low cleavage. So you'll see more information about that. Avoiding shorts or skirts that are excessively short. No bathing suits should be worn unless we are at the pool or the beach. No hoods up during class, except for medical or religious reasons. The main point with that being, right, is if you have hoods up, there's the possibility of having headphones on in a class. No sunglasses or tinted eyewear. We just want to make sure everyone is demonstrating good eye contact with everyone while they're communicating. No slippers or pajamas worn outside of the residential halls, and do keep in mind that you must have appropriate footwear during classes, activities, and trips. And I would say, a good thing to note is if we're going to Cole Park or we're walking on the nature preserve, it's a really good idea just to have a good pair of sneakers and good footwear. Also, no bathrobes or towels must be worn to or from showers in the residential, or bathrobes and towels must be worn to and from showers in the residential halls. And then just another thing to note for our summer program banquet, that is something that is semi-professional attire. So students should be semi-formal, right? And wearing jackets and ties is optional. So just keep that in mind when you are packing each week to come for the summer program. Regarding our cell phone policies, scholars are not permitted to be on their phones during classes or social activities unless cell phone use has been approved by a professional staff member, and that would only be in case of, there's an emergency going on and somebody really needs to use their cell phone. If students don't abide by the cell phone policy, our staff will take the phone from the student and turn it into an upward bound staff member. Students may be allowed to bring their cell phones to trips for the first week, and the last week of the summer program will give more details around what exactly they can bring their cell phones to. And the intention behind this is, we're trying to build a community of scholars. We're trying to get students ready for the expectations of college. And it's just respectful to be avoiding, being on your cell phone while you're in academic classes or while you're building relationships with other individuals during social activities. So during the summer, our students do have the opportunity to earn stipends. So due to COVID, we were able to increase the amount that our students can earn each month. So each month this summer, students will be able to earn $125 while participating in our summer program and engaging in activities. The eligibility is really based on fully participating in morning activities, classes, lunch, study hours, dinner, and our residential counselor activities. And each time students are on time and fully participating in the activities that we mentioned, they will receive credit towards receiving their stipend. If students aren't attending regularly, their stipend will definitely be impacted based on an algorithm that we have set. So remember, not only will lack of participation in classes and activities throughout the week impact student stipends, but they will also really miss out on an opportunity to participate in our trips and social activities. And I know that's something that, students definitely want to be a part of.
So up next, we just wanted to touch on the fact that the Upward Bound Summer Program, we will be following Binghamton University's COVID-19 protocols and policies. So as for the COVID-19 vaccines, all scholars participating in our residential summer program need to be fully vaccinated by the program start date. They do not need to have a booster shot. We understand with time constraints that has been an issue, but the university has gone ahead and said, as long as our scholars are fully vaccinated, that they are good to go. And down to quarantine and isolation. So if a scholar experiences COVID-19 symptoms while on campus, they will be isolated and a parent or guardian will be called to come pick them up. If a scholar experiences COVID-19 symptoms while on the end of summer trip, we have an extra hotel room for them to quarantine in. We just wanted to include this information to keep you all up to date and aware of our policies and really, help ensure the health and safety of all of our students participating this summer.
With the summer program paperwork, all students have received their summer program paperwork packet so far. If you see your student's name on this list, we are still missing one or more pieces of paperwork from that packet. I think the forms that we tend to be missing the most are the physician form, which should be sent out to the student's physician, but may also be filled out by a parent or guardian if you're not able to have your student's physician fill that out. As well as the health history form, which is really important for us and our nursing staff to make sure that we have emergency contacts down and that we have a record of any medications that your student is taking, any food allergies, and any conditions that they're under the care of a doctor for, as well as their health insurance information. That's also a piece of data that we really need to have. And I think the income eligibility is also something we haven't been getting back very regularly. There are detailed instructions on the first page of that form. And if you have any questions about any of the pieces of paperwork, please reach out to us at ub@binghamton.edu so that we can help you out with anything we're missing.
So here's all of our contact information. Feel free to reach out to any of us if any questions came up during this presentation. And here's just a QR code if you would like to join our Remind group for updates throughout the summer program. That's where we'll be putting a lot of that information just to make it easily accessible to all of you. So definitely reach out if you have any questions. I know maybe getting some of this information might have triggered some questions for you. So feel free to just, when that slide with all of our contact information is up, jot any information or jot any contact information down and reach out with any questions. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this presentation. We really, really look forward to working with all of you during our residential summer program. And we hope you have a good rest of your day.